Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne, brand new week. Today, not only are we going to be doing the next 10 stages of the Deagostini Collectables release of Build the Valentino Rossi motorcycle, we're also going to be running a competition, so stay tuned to the end of this video to see how you can get yourself a free subscription for this. That's right, one lucky winner in the UK is going to be able to win a free subscription to this, but I will detail that all at the end. Now today we're going to be doing stages 7 to 16, so there's 10 stages in there. And just to give you a quick review, if you have a look at everything we've laid out here, including this absolutely gorgeous front veiling there, the tyre, I mean, this is what we've done so far in the first couple of packs. So it's 2 packs today we're going to be doing. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link down in the video description. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Now, each stage does come with its own magazine here, and this is what the magazine looks like. I'll just quickly have a flick through this. You can see all about the bike and the man himself. In this one, as you see, we've got the right fork and leg, which we're going to be putting together here. So by the end of it, it's going to look just like this. So I'll get these all out of here. And when we've got all the parts out, we're just going to push them all to one side, but we're going to bring over the left fork that we were working on last time, and also the caliper and brake section that we've got just here. And all we're going to do is we're going to be taking this fork, and as you can see at the top here, this can only go in a certain way. So we can just revolve it round until it slips in just like that. This is how it should look. And we're going to be putting a size B screw just through that hole to keep it into place. That came in the last stages as well. So that's just going to go in here like that. This screw should go through both this section and the fork. Now I'm using a PHO screwdriver. It is slipping a bit, so I am going to up that to a PH1 screwdriver. And as you can see, no slip now. We can get that all the way in. That's in perfectly like that. Now, as you can see here, we've got 2 holes at the top. We need the fender bracket that came in, I believe, stage 5. And if you can see here, we have got a locating lug, which is going to go into the hole that we can just see at the back there. So this is going to fit on just like that. And it's going to be held in with a type C screw. Now again, this came in the previous pack as well. We do have similar parts in this pack here, which we're not actually using at the moment. We're just working on the ones that we had from the previous pack at the moment. And this time there is a difference. As you can see, it hasn't got a Phillips head. It has got an Allen key head, or a hex key, which is just going to go in here. Now these are steel, so not magnetic. So I'm going to line this up, let gravity do its work, and then put that in like this. So when that's all in, it should look like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So here's stage 8. Again, I'll give you a quick flick through the magazine here, and as you can see, we're going to be doing the right brake caliper mounting, looking just like this. Pretty similar to what we've done in the last stages. We're going to actually make this all together here, so it just looks like that. We're not actually putting this on the fork yet. So if you ever want to identify what pack number we're actually working on, if you have a look at this barcode here, it's always one up from the pack we're working on. So this one ends in 09, which means we're working on pack 8. I'll get this open. And the first thing I want to do is want to take these 2 details here. This is just going to go into the holes that you can see on the edge. You can see them underneath. So it's just to push in, get these into place. 1, 2, and push that nice and firm. Then when it's pushed all the way in, there's no way that's coming out of there. Now we've got the caliper mounted. This is all metal, looking like that. And we're going to be putting the reservoir in place. That's just going to go into the hole that we can see at the top. Just like that. Now we've got 2 adjuster nuts in. One of these is silver, one of them are gold. So I need to put the silver one in first. Get that in. When it's in, it should fit flush to the section next to it. Now if you push it in so that the tab is the last thing that goes in, let's put this one in here, you know you've got it right, because they should fit so they're exactly the same distance from each other, just like that, looking like that there. And then the last thing is we're just going to be piecing both of these sections together. So line it up. It has got some little lugs on each side, and just push those all in. So that's one complete piece of the brake caliper, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So stage 9 here, again, I'm just going to flick through to where we start. We've got one section in this, which is the front wheel. That looks really good. I can't wait to get that open. But we are going to continue work on these forks that we've been working on previously. So in the same way, we're actually going to be putting the fender bracket on and putting these in. So we've got 2 complete forks. Now, of course, I'm going to open this anyway, so you can see what this looks like. This is heavy. It's a solid piece of metal, this is. So I'm going to get this out. Wow. Check that out. That looks absolutely amazing. And as you can see, it's already got the small details on there, on that side and on that side there. Not doing anything with that, but this is a solid piece of metal here. So I'll put that to one side. Bring over the caliper that we had at the start of this pack. And just like last time, having it this way round so that this point here is facing upwards, we're just going to push this into the caliper mounting here. Now, as you can see, it'll only go in one way. It's going to go in here. So push this in. If it's tight, you may need to just file off some of the paint just around that section. I do have a bit of sanding here, so I'm just going to do that here. And just by doing that little thing there, as you can see, that slips in perfectly now. We still have a size B screw left over from last time, but we're not actually going to need to open the B screws that come in this pack. Just put this into place. And then exactly the same way as we did last time, we're going to be taking this frame mount here. We have got the lug, line that into position here like this. And then that's going to be held in with one of the C Allen key screws. So line that up. That goes in like that, and I'll get this in all the way. There you go. When they're both done, they should look just like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 10, looking like this, if I just turn this round, you can see that we're going to be doing the fork, yoke, and the fixings. So we're going to be putting the absolutely brilliant rim here and the wheel around it, fixing that together with the calipers, then putting the forks in. Now this is solid bit of plastic. They want us to push this in here, and you really are going to have a hard time if you just try and put it in like that. So I'm going to put this in a little bit of warm water to soften it up, and that way I can push this in. So as you can see, I have got a bowl there now with boiling hot water in this. This only needs to go in for about a minute. So I'll put one on one side. I'll flip it over and do the other side, and then we should be able to push this in, no problems at all. So I'm just going to get this ready. Push that to one side. I'll put a cloth down here. A little Star Wars cloth there. And then I think we're ready to go. So I'll take this out and get this in. See, it's a lot more easy to manipulate now. Just get that round there. And then push that into position, making sure that it's sitting perfectly both sides. Need a little bit of manipulation here. Just like this. And that is that wheel in place. So put that down here. Now if you can see on this detail here, we've got MFR and an arrow pointing clockwise around this way. We need to take these parts that we had from the previous stages and just match up the one which has got the arrow going in the same direction here. So looking at that, as you can see, we've got an arrow on there looking exactly the same. So we're just going to be putting this into place just underneath it here. Just like that. We then want to take the front right caliper looking like that, and that's going to just fit over the top of this in there just like that. Now we did have this massive pin in the previous pack, which we're now going to be putting through both of these sections. So through here, through this side. Then all we've got to do is put the other disc on the other side here. Again, making sure the arrows match. And then put the other fork in. Then it's just a case of bolting these all together. Got a tool for that, they do provide that. So there's no wobble in there, just like that. Looking pretty good, isn't it? The only other thing to do with the reservoirs facing up is to take the fork, and that's now just going to slide down here. Just like this, and it will line up with the 2 holes that we've got on this section just here. Now, I know you're all probably going to point out, these are two different colours. They are two different colours. I have got another one of these coming, which is going to be that colour there. Now, to keep that into place in those holes, we have got some E-screws, which I've got here. That's one. This is really where your dipping screws into oil really helps, because it will help drive that screw in so it's not so hard to tighten up. Here's the second one. As you can see, that's got in perfectly. Now, they haven't actually asked us to actually put these calipers into place now. We've got a caliper for each side. Looks like that. It's actually just going to go over this section here and push in. I'm going to do that now. You'll probably find that in the next stage they're actually going to ask us to do that. But I'll do that both sides, seeing as we do have both of these together now. It's just a case of pushing them together like this. And then these are just going to fit over the disc and then slot into this section just like that there. So that is all there is to do in that stage. So stage 11 here. Just flick through to what we've got. We're going to start with the left hand exhaust pipes looking like that. These are going to be metal, but we're actually going to join these together. So again, once we've got the front section done there and an exhaust completed as well. Now they come with a size B screw, but look, check these out. This is solid metal. That's amazing. Okay, we're going to be piecing these two parts together. So quite simply, you can see some lugs just on this side. They're actually going to go together in these two sections here to create one exhaust looking like that. And it is going to be a size B screw that we're putting through that hole now. So this B screw here, looking like this. I've actually just dropped some oil in here to help get this in. Now, the oil I use is just a 3-in-1 oil. And I actually pinched it from Mrs. Welderwayne's sewing machine kit. Don't know if she knows. I've been doing it for years. She's never questioned me. So I think I'm good to go on that. And just get that in. As you can see, the oil really helps screw this in. I am using my PH1 screwdriver because you get a lot more torque on it, you see. But you do want that to be a nice tight fit there, so there's no wobble, and that's looking just like that. But that's all there is to do in that stage. So that was that pack complete. We're on the next pack now. We're going to start with stage 12. Again, we've got another bit of exhaust here, and it's going to go together exactly like we did in the last stage there. So it looks just like that. Really is exactly the same, except the connections are slightly different there with the lug further out there. So that's just going to go on just like that there. Holding it from the side, we're going to be putting another one of these B screws in. I will just drop a tiny bit of oil in that hole. Put this in. And then tighten that up with my PH1 screwdriver. You want to make sure that the tab on this side here is also going into the one next to it. So I'm going to line them up as well. And you know you've got it right, because that won't turn. The tabs are together, and that's another exhaust completed. So in stage 13 here, again, I'll turn to what we're doing. We've got some exhaust outlets, probes and joints. They look just like this. A few small details here, but we're going to be putting those onto the exhaust that we've already created, so it looks just like that. And these are really, really tiny pieces, these are. So the first exhaust pipes we want are the ones without that tab in the middle. And we have got a detail here. These are in the bags labelled L1, looking like that. And we've got this spring here. Brilliant little detail this is. Just going to push into the two holes that we can see on the top there. So on this side, get that in. And then just one in the square below it here. Like that. Get that in all the way. You can glue these if you wanted to, but that looks pretty cool. In the top here, we then got the lander probe, which is going to go in here. It pushes in sort of like at an angle. So it's going to be upright, just like that there. Now we're going to take the ones that say L2. get these out. And these are going to go in exactly the same way, just behind it here. You can see there's some squares just in the inside edge of this exhaust. So I'll get these in. A little bit more tricky now, because obviously both the exhausts are together. So I'll use my tweezers to help line all this up. Just push them down. Excellent. So that springs in as well. And then we've got another lambda sensor here. So then when it's in, it should look just like that. We're going to do exactly the same on the right hand side now. So I've got R1, which has got a spring and a lambda sensor in it. Lambda, God, it's early in the morning. Can't say lambda properly. Again, just following the angle of the exhaust, that will dictate which way round this goes. So one in here, and then again the lambda sensor has got a little sort of tilt on it, and that tilt just goes in this way. So when we put it in, it's going to go in like that. Don't push it too hard because you don't want it to wreck in. You can glue that in as well. But that's the first one, and in a similar way I'll just do the one behind it. And there you go, that's those two in as well. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Love it. Now we do have this muffler here and these longer springs left over, but that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 14 here, as you can see, we're now going to start the cylinder head and the exhaust assembly. So we've got the cylinder head here. We are going to be working a bit more on the exhaust with some of the parts that we had left from the last stage and piecing both of these together and putting the muffler on the end there, just like that. So we're going to take the end of the exhaust and the right hand side exhaust. These are just going to go on just like that there. Now we're going to hold that together by taking the left hand side of the exhaust and putting that over the top. It has got some guiding lugs in here. Now because these exhausts are metal, this is really heavy. So this can be a little bit tricky. So they're going to go together kind of like that. I haven't pieced anything together yet. What I am going to do is take a B screw. Still holding this. I can't believe this hasn't fallen to bits in my hand yet. And get this bottom section together. Probably best to put that in loosely to start off with, actually. It will help you line up the bottom section there, like that. Get this in all the way. And as you can see at the bottom here, we've got another hole here, which is going to take another B screw to hold the bottom section together. So that should be one solid exhaust there. And believe me, it is a solid exhaust. It's so heavy, just that one detail. Now, into these square points that we can see here, if you remember, we had a spring left over from the last stage. Let's get these out. And we're just going to be putting one in each side. So one in here. Like that, down to the exhaust end. This one has actually got a hole in the top, so it goes over the top of the peg there and then into the bottom. That dictates what spring you're using, you see. And then that's in as well. And look, check that out. That is a finished exhaust. That looks absolutely brilliant. So stage 15, as you can see, we've got the instrument panel and the LCD display. That's what we're going to be working on, and we're also going to be taking the parts that we didn't even open from the last stage, which was the cylinder head here. So by the end, it's looking just like this. Now both of these sections on the cylinder head are metal. We just need to put them in this way so that where we've got the slots on this side here, we've got a nipple just going in the opposite direction on this side. Turn it over and we're going to hold this in with some B screws. So that looks like that, and now we can put that to one side. Take out the actual dashboard that we actually get in this stage. And we've got these two sections here which come with a cover for this. Now what I want to do is turn over this panel, and as you can see we have got two little lugs in there that are going to match the shape of these that we've got in here. So this is going to go in here like that, pushing that into place. And then from the underside, we've got this little plastic section with, I don't know if you can see that, it's got some little lugs coming out, which are going to go through the holes that we can see on the top there. So when we put this in, we want to make sure it fits in flat, going to push it down with my screwdriver so that won't fall out. So you can actually see them through that side there, and it's in looking like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this 2-stage marathon is stage 16 here, and I will get to the part we're doing. We're doing some more on the instrument panel, actually putting the supports in. So by the end of it, it's going to look just like that. Now we want to lay this out exactly like it tells us in the book. So if we hold that this way, take the one that says L and put it on this side, because even though this is on my right hand side, it's on the bike's left hand side, and take the one R, sounds weird, but I'm putting that on my left side, which is actually the bike's right hand side. Now these are going to go into the holes in the inside, so lining them up and pushing them through so they all come through the other side. Not the easiest thing to do, but there you go. You should actually have 4 nipples coming through that side. The rest are just lugs to hold that into place. Do the same on the other side. Again, push that in, and again, 1, 2, 3. I think there's 3 on that side by the feel of it. Yep, there's 3 on that side. So that looks like that. Now bring over what we were working on in the last stage, and we've got this tab now to put just at the bottom here. It's actually going to go through that slot that you can see there. So it's going to fit on just like that. And it's going to be held in from the other side with a type J screw. That comes in this pack here. It's already lined up. So I'll get this into position like this. And then in this stage, we've got 2, they look like screws. They're not actually screws, they're dummy screws, which are going to just push into the holes that we can see either side of this section here and here. So get these lined up. Going to be a bit tricky with under the lighting I've got here. I'm going to use my tweezers to help me to get these in. But as you can see, they should look like that when they're in. I'll do the one on the other side. Now I've actually not pushed them all the way through. They're still flat because I'm going to put the back on now. Now this back actually just goes into the slots here, here and here. So I'm just going to line that up. So this is now one piece. And push that together. And then when I'm happy where it is, that will enable me to push those fake buttons in all the way. That's 1. And that one's 2. So now we've got one complete piece, and that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in those 2 packs. And there you go. You will see that I've actually painted those forks now so that they're the same colour. It's just a yellow ochre. It just needs to dry actually. So I might give it one more coat after that. Not quite sure what that was about. But check this exhaust out. Look, full metal. I think that's brilliant. And obviously we just completed the cylinder head and we started on the dashboard there as well. So if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link down here in the video description. You can get this all the way from pack 1. Now I am running a giveaway. Basically this is open to anyone in the UK. This is UK only. Sorry for all you folks around the world, but this is only going to be for the UK. One of you lucky peeps can win a complete full subscription to this bike, and all you've got to do is just go down to the video description and you'll see gleam.io. Just enter into that website and put the details in. There is some tasks in there to do as well. Each task you complete will give you another entry into the competition, and I'm going to be drawing one lucky winner next Tuesday. The competition actually closes on Monday at 11:59 p.m. On the 5th of December 2022, but all the terms and conditions for this competition are in the Gleam.io website that you go over to there, and I look forward to actually announcing one lucky winner who's going to win themselves a full subscription to this absolutely perfect Rossi bike. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.